All right. I think we're back. Seems like we're back. Uh, yeah, what Brainless said. There was something. So first of all, don't knock yourself. Also, I remembered. Yeah, thank you. I remembered from the other stream. So, Your Majesty. um, I think you shouldn't knock yourself, right? So, and there's some. I have a point, and the point is that reading code and writing code, um, there are overlapping skills involved in doing those things, but there's an aspect of reading code that's different from writing code, right? And I think generally writing code is the thing that people focus on doing, and so they build skills up in that area, and less so on the reading code side. And when you look at things you've done in the past, it may be the case that the when you no longer have the context of when you wrote the code, then you're relying on the skills of reading code to figure out what past you did, and that can be challenging. But also, the thing that you will likely find over time is that you will have learned many things from writing code and reading other people's code that will make you feel like I will say I've often looked at past code I've written and being like, how did this even work? Like, it doesn't seem like that should work because it's flawed in various obvious ways that very kind of like it looks like it only would work on accident sort of situations. Anyway, I guess my point is that yeah, because you made a comment that I just wanna poke at a little bit. Where was it? So when I go back and look at it, I can't figure out why I wrote it like that, and I have to rewrite the entire function because I'm stupid. So I don't know that is I don't think you're stupid, and I don't think you should think that either. But we're all learning. So don't give up. Anyway, shall we fix more tests? I guess that's what we're doing today, at least until we're done. So panic behavior is a thing that we have. Never giving up, never surrender. See my code from 5 years ago? Everyone has to start some. That's right. Okay, so in panic behavior on line 68 in play Yelp sounds, we do something that apparently is bad. So panic behavior line 68. So here, audio player. So there's no property audio player on base object of type node 3D, and that makes sense because target is a node 3D, and node 3D doesn't have an audio player attribute. Trackpad versus trackball for beanbag gaming. I guess the issue with doing things like what kind of gaming, right? Because you gotta have, like, if you have any kind of mouse and keyboard, where is that gonna live? I guess you could, like, with this, I guess I could theoretically make a thing for my legs, and I could have the keys on my. I could actually, yeah, I think. I don't know. It depends on like what kind of trackball like Counter-Strike. I don't know. Not really an FPS person, but yeah, I don't know. I think there's a lot of things you could do. Get yourself a breakfast tray. Oh yeah, there you go. Put it upside down, a mouse pad on top. You are golden. Interesting. Oh, so like you know, have breakfast in bed. That kind of breakfast tray. Something that, and they have those too, like laptop tables for for in your bed. Yeah. Hmm. Interesting. Yeah, you work from bed? I think you have mentioned that once or twice. I will say, I mean, if you're in a situation where you have to be doing that, I know there was a point in my life where I had a lot of fatigue, and so I was kind of in a similar situation, working from bed for a little bit, and I'm glad I was able to not do that anymore. So it's not a dream for me, let's say. But you know, people are in different circumstances. They need different things. They, you know, have different things going on. So you have a little tray in front with laptop. Put the mechanical keyboard on your lap. It's a little tray with the mouse pad on the side. A second monitor on the other side of the bed. Sure. Monitor on the other side of the bed. So where's the... Oh yeah, with laptop, of course. Right. What about the first screen? I'm so used to, like, with my work laptop, I don't even ever open it, right? Because I have 4 screens, and the bottom 2 screens I use for work when I'm working. You want to be in warm water while working. Can't sit at a desk for more than 10. Yeah. Without your back killing you, I'm assuming is what you meant. Yeah, it's what it is, right? Just gotta deal with it. For some reason, the want to be in warm water while working. I'm just like envisioning a Matrix pod, right? Just like plugged into the Matrix. It's kind of the inversion of that. Although, I mean that water, the fluid would be warm, right? Anyway. Okay, so we're trying to fix the panic behavior. The issue is probably the test. Is it the test, or is it just... What is target? Where does target come from? Target is set to a thing that is probably inheriting Node 3D, right? So it's not actually a Node 3D, it's a some custom class that extends Node 3D that has our audio player on it. I guess the issue is that we don't check to see if audio player, like, this throws an error if audio player is not defined for the class. So is there a way in GDScript to ask if this object has this property? Matrix pod, Eva Pilot. Oh yeah, Eva Pilot plug. Yeah. I need to. I think at one point I did finish watching Evangelion. But it's been quite a long time, and then I started rewatching it maybe a year or 2 ago, and then I didn't get around to finishing it. I might have to rewatch it again. Okay, so is this? Yeah, I get OBS captures the fact that I'm scrolling through all the things. Right, so GDScript. Check if I've been here before, maybe. Check if object has property. If property in object instance. All right, for real this time. All right, enjoy your shower, Your Majesty. Okay, so we can just do if thing in thing. Okay, let's try that. audio player in target and, right? Because we still want to check not only that it has the property audio player, but audio player is truthing, right? It's set to something. Okay, so maybe that will fix the test. So presumably what's happening here is in the test we are just constructing a node 3D for target, and so it doesn't actually have the audio player in it. Okay. Did it work? Things are happening. Sounds are being made. Are we? We're still running. Except we're not. We're not running. What happened? You have returned. Well, welcome back, Timtic. Trying to figure out. So, oh, there was an error. Output overflow, printless text. Very well. Okay. Let's check in here. Errors. Yeah, it's already connected. Okay, that's probably fine. So, yeah, today we are apparently fixing unit tests that have been broken for some time. And this will continue until we fix them all. Maybe we'll do other things today. We do actually have a level that we've been working on for the last couple of streams. Okay, so something is running. Maybe. I can't honestly tell what's going on at the moment. Are the unit tests still running? This says they are, right? Okay, and so we can change run modes. Okay, the default is in the editor. That's fine. Log level. Let me do log level 2. Aha. Hey, look, we have information. Why does this say running? Is it actually still running? On line 55. This isn't even the right file. Oh, I'm very unused to having the script tab come up since I'm usually using the external editor, you know, VS Code. Okay, that's what's going on. Okay, so really lacking in screen real estate here. What if we editor layouts. there is a default layout. Can we change up some things here? Just close these things. Close it all. Oh yeah, here's my tech tree editor doc that I made quite a while ago to be able to interactively edit the tech tree for the game. It's cooler once you hit the auto layout thing, so we can interactively edit the connections for the tech tree of some use, and then you can click on them and you can edit them as well. Yeah, so I haven't actually used it honestly that much, but it exists. Let's see, and if we can we close? Let me just get rid of this whole thing. Move the gut panel to a window. Interesting. What if I wanted to undo that? Actually, this is not bad. This is actually what I want. This actually, of the things that we're doing here, this is what I want. Okay, so then we'll set the layout back. Great. Okay, now we have a way of looking at unit tests and the code, and it would be cool. Let's see. So this is. What on earth is happening? So if I just stop. Okay, there we go. Okay, great. Hey, and we have a summary. Wonderful. Kind of laggy, actually. But now we have a list to work off of. And a surprising number of tests that are failing. I was not expecting this. Mm, 11 warnings, 59 deprecated, 30 scripts, 255 tests, 212 passing tests, 43 failing. Hmm. Okay, so this is very laggy. I don't like that. All right, well let's take a look here. So in this test, this is the obstacle reclaim flow test file. First thing I want to do is get rid of those tabs. Test convert scrap to XP with 200 scrap. So the test said that the current XP should be 100. Right here. Is this true? Should it be 100? It's kind of dependent on what convert remaining scrap to XP does with current scrap. So the assertion is that okay, there is a current XP in currency manager. Let's take a look at currency manager. Convert remaining scrap to XP. Let's go actually look at that. If XP gained is greater than 0, we call earn XP. Earn XP changes current XP by adding the amount to nothing if game state is not playing. So that might be it. If we no, set game state to be playing. Okay, so we already know that the game state is playing. And then at the end of the scenario, each test, we move it back to main menu. So why isn't current XP 100? It's in fact 0. So earn XP is called. Current XP is incremented. Current XP, it's not like shadowed, right? Where is current XP defined? One would hope at the top. There it is. It's initially 0. Earn XP causes it to go up by an amount. Convert remaining scrap to XP will, if scrap to convert greater than 0, scrap to XP conversion rate greater than 0, then divide scrap to convert by the conversion rate, and that's XP gained. If it's greater than 0, we earn that XP, and then we reset scrap, which resets current scrap to starting, emit scrap changed. Okay. So I don't see why current XP would be 0. That'd be cool if I could just run this one test. So here, hold on. Is it less laggy now? No. It's frustrating. Can we... I don't even get a hover over on these buttons. Let me just close this window. All right, there we go. Okay, it's back in here, which is less helpful, but less laggy, right? I think so. Okay, let me do what I was going to do before, which is we're just going to close all the other docked panels so that we have space for this. Okay. Okay, let's go full screen. Can I, if I right click this, I can't, there's no way for me to just run this test, is there? Okay, great. Okay, turning off the sync options keeps it from opening the script up there. That's good. No hover overs on these buttons to tell me what they do. Cut settings, show high text output, show high text. Yep, great. Cut shortcuts. Run current script, run interclass, run current test. So is there a button to run the current test? Doesn't seem like there is. I don't know what this is. Okay. I don't know what I just did. I think here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stop this running. We are going to project. We're gonna reload the current project. When in doubt, reload the current project. And we're gonna try this again. Hey, all right, run all. So I guess one thing that I did notice before, right, was that it didn't seem like it fully recognized that it had finished running all the tests. Okay, so like it's running now. It's a lot of failures. I thought there was just going to be a couple of failures. This is like stuff recently broken, but whoops. Does this indicate where we are, like which test we're currently running? Like that's what I'd like to see, is like currently running this test. What does this do? There's no... Yeah, Godot tests. Yes, indeed. We're using Gut for our unit tests. Correct. And apparently they've been broken for quite a while. So I have a thing that runs the unit tests on check-in on GitHub. Unfortunately, it did not successfully detect that the unit tests have been failing, apparently for quite some time, which is unfortunate. I've been kind of relying on this. I mean, I've been testing stuff, but I do use GitHub Copilot to implement various things, not like artwork and stuff, but code for systems. And I do manually test what it does, but also relying on these to like catch it from breaking things. And apparently that was not a check that has been working, which is frustrating. I would really like to understand. Writer even has support for this testing framework for Godot. Interesting. But putting aside like the unit test, I would really like to understand why this test is failing. Because it indicates that there's something not quite working right. Because the currency manager should be updating current XP to be 100 when this is run. I guess if scrap to XP conversion rate was not set right, but it has an initial value of 2. Scrap to convert is current scrap, which we do set here to be 200. Should level up to level 2 is interesting assertion, because how would that happen? Also, it says it's running, but what's running? Okay, well, let's start from the bottom. How about that? Test texture UI. Since the first test we looked at there from that set is not seeming obvious how to fix. Let's try a different order. Close button, emits closed. Hold on, where is that? Okay. That is a lot of output. Test close button, emits close signal. Test close button, emits close signal. Alright, so watch signals. This must be called in order to make assertions based on the signals being emitted. Right now, this only supports signals that are emitted with 9 or less parameters. Interesting. Okay, and then we invoke on close pressed, and we assert that the close signal asserts that the specified object emitted the name signal. You must call watch signals and pass it the object that you are making assertions about. You have a signal name. Yep. Or you can just pass the signal directly. Okay, so we could just do that. But we're saying that okay, so the control does not have the signal closed. Okay, so tech tree here is what? It's the scene. This tech tree scene is the scene, but tech tree is UI tech tree. Let's see, I need to reconnect, I think, to Godot because I restarted. Maybe. Usually when I control click something, it takes me there, but that's not working currently. Godot. Okay, well, just do it by hand. It's this file, yeah? Yes, that's fine. Do we have a signal? We don't have a signal. Well, that would be a problem. Yeah, there's no signal declared here. I mean, potentially control. Okay, let's okay. Restart. It's thinking. Like, usually I can control click a thing and I would get, you know, some info about it, but I think Godot's having some issues. What do we do when we have issues with Godot? We restart. Alright, and we're connected again to our project. And so... interesting. Does control have a signal? That's interesting. Frustrating? Maybe. Yeah, LSP connection taken. So we should be fine. Anyway, what I was trying to do was to get autocomplete here. And that's not working. It's kind of frustrating. Connected to GDScript language server. Okay, well, like that little bit of lag. I'm hitting Control S to save, and then it's like sitting there for a couple of seconds before it actually saves out. It's kind of weird. I think let's do this. I am going to close all the things. Goodbye, Godot. Ignore this window. This is me doing some research into things. Let's launch Godot. Open a project. Great. And then let's open VS Code. Okay. Giving us the kind of the cleanest start that I can here. So we do self dot. Ooh, look. We get completion. Okay, great. Now I was curious if there was a closed signal on the parent node, and there's not. Okay. So this whole thing here of waiting for a closed signal is not actually a thing. There is no closed signal. I think there was one at one point, but there's not anymore. So I'm just going to remove those tests. In fact, are there any more where we talked about closed? Okay, great. Now, let's go to gut, run all. All right. Hey, you know what helps? Having the game window be big enough so we can actually see this output, because apparently Gut is outputting things up here. Who knew? Not this guy. Oh boy. Okay, great. So things happened. Yeah, 41 failing tests. So if I go back to this tab, it still says running. It's weird. Okay, if this is finished, what are we supposed to do here? Okay. So we're done. So why do you still exist? What are we supposed to do with this? I guess we just stop. Do we stop it? Ah, we stop it. Okay. Great. Figuring stuff out. Now, I don't know why. I would really love to run this test by itself. Okay, and so we can see just the failing ones here. Okay, so this is, I guess, something where I need to run only the selected test if one is selected. Run current test set. What do we want for a button to run the test? Apparently that's not a key. Oh, I'm pressing the wrong thing. Is it? It's definitely a key. Somewhere in here, there's a key. What? No. I can't set a key? Great. Shortcuts for buttons and panels, project tools, get menu items. Shortcuts that only apply to menus are labeled. What? Okay, let's try a different thing. Okay. There's a separate section here for gut. Oh, shouldn't have hovered over that. Oh boy. Oh, goodbye, Godot. Well, if at first you don't succeed, try again. Yeah, I don't see anything for guts in here, so let's go look for our input. Oh, right, of course. Input map? No. I don't know then. What did it say? For, this? Project Tools Gut. Project Tools Gut. Ah, there's a run test. Okay, so forget the short... forget that. Let's, Actually, here's a question. So if we go back to here, and we are on this test, is there... I don't suppose there's like a, Godot. Like there wouldn't be an action here for Godot tools. I wonder, is there an extension for gut? Let's download random extensions. Set up Godot tools, gut. Uses the gut command line interface to run tests. Okay. I mean, that's the other thing we could do, is we could just do what our GitHub action is doing and run gut from the command line. If nothing else, we would actually be able to visually see that it was failing, because our issue, of course, was that the run test here was not detecting that there was a failure. Right, so we have a shell script here called run tests. Oh yeah, right. I want to, let's edit run test a little bit. I would like to make this so that we're gonna have Godot equals Godot if Godot is not in path, use the local Godot executable. So if what does this do? What is command? Never heard of it. Okay, that's interesting. This is similar to like which, right? Well, it works. Okay, so if we run tests, if I can only type. And of course, this is not how you set a variable. with bash. Anyway, there we go. Okay. No, this is much more pleasant. Much logging. Okay, excellent. 43 failing tests. And some other issues, but we'll deal with those later. Okay, so test system integration.gd, 0 expected to equal 50, should have 50 scrapped after running 100 and spending 50. Interesting. Sadly, just control clicking that is not gonna get us where we want to be. So line 19. Okay, test currency and logger integration. So we set log level, enabled scopes, currency scrap. Why are we... I mean, why are we making an assertion about currency manager and a test about logging? Well, logging is happening in the background. We're just verifying the integration works without errors. Great, but that's not what you're doing. And is... Nope, no control click. Okay, great. It's broken again. That's what I get for restarting things. So how does earn scrap and spend scrap work? Earn scrap. Scrap. If we're not playing, don't do anything. If amount is greater than less than 0 or equal to 0, return. Okay. Then we increment current scrap, and then spend scrap. We decrement current scrap. If current scrap is greater than or equal to amount, can't spend more than you have. One would think that would decrease it, but the thing is if we are not running the game, if the game is not running, then earning scrap does nothing, and then this does nothing, and so this would be 0, and that makes sense because this test is wrong. What about this test? So we had 43 failing tests. Now, maybe we'll end up just deleting all the broken tests, but that's not how you should do it. Like, if we look at the test and it doesn't make sense, we will remove it. Otherwise, we should, understand what the test is testing and make sure that we are addressing that need, right? So okay, let's get rid of this. Do we... Can I... Customize layout. Panel. Yes. Panel alignment. Right. Can we... Okay, this is visibility. Primary server by location. Panel alignment. Is there a way to put this panel on the right-hand side? A thing using VS Code that has never occurred to me. You know what would be cool? You know what we could do? Forget this. Close this. We'll just open terminal. Imagine that. Let's see. Documents, my repos, tower defense. Run tests. Oh yeah, of course. So the environment in VS Code in that terminal is a little bit different than my actual system because of how NixOS works. One of the things we want to do here is we want this command to actually be something like, let's see, which env. Can we just do us bin? No. Isn't there a USR It's where I can type. Yeah, okay, there is that. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, that. That will work on any system that I care about it running on anyway. There we go. And we have much more contrasting color here as well. Okay, so great. So we have a bunch of failures in this file. What's going on here? Okay, test scenario completion marks complete and awards bonus. Bonus XP should be awarded. Okay, so this assertion checks it is true. It's scenario completed. But we check currency manager current XP is initial XP plus bonus XP. Right? So we expected this would be 75, but it was actually 0. Why? I don't know, it seems like we keep on running into things with currency manager and things not adding up right. I wonder what that's about. Do we have a setup function? Yeah, before each. So we do this should not be main menu. No, we have no autocomplete. Or yeah, autocomplete is the word I'm looking for. Game manager. Game state here can be victory. So I guess the question is, like, when so we're testing the kind of the interaction here between. Okay, so we have a current scenario. We earn XP. We mark scenario as complete. So at what point normally? So scenario marks the scenario complete. And that happens before we set the game state to victory. Right? So the game state here for these tests should likely be playing. Let's see if that fixes tests. So how many tests were failing before? I don't remember. Hey, but that number is definitely smaller. Okay. Hey, so we fixed all the tests in this file. Imagine that. Okay, so we have many more tests to fix. You know what would be good? I think what I'm gonna do is in run test, we're gonna tweak this a little bit to make this a little nicer. I wonder, so what is this gut config? Okay, so we have this log level. So when we run Godot, can we override settings? Right, we have our own custom logger, and it has its own log level setting. And I'm wondering if we can override that setting, right? So if I run Godot, many options. Is there a way to override a setting from the command line? Editor, project manager, recovery mode, LSP, quit, path, scene, rendering method, log file, write movie. Ooh. Screen max. Okay, display options, debug options, standalone mode. Let's export and import and things. Run a script. Disable frame delay, debug. Okay, let's do some Googling. Godot override config, project config on command line. from 6 years ago. Okay. Command line tutorial. Okay, well this is just what we were just looking at, so I mean it has more words, but we can probably intuit what it's about from what the different options are from there. Names, hopefully. Creating a project, running the editor. -E, sure. Debugging, exporting, running a script. Sure. Project settings. How do we change the configuration of a Godot project? Through code. That's not what I'm looking for. AI overview suggests things, like having an override config. My custom flag, and then have things. Yeah, okay. I don't want to do that. So, I guess the other thing I could do is I could edit the project configuration. All right, well, it's ad time, so I'll be back in a couple minutes and we'll continue figuring out test stuff. I'll be right back.